Late Night Health continues, and even though I said goodbye to Rich Sagall from NeedyMeds, we're going to continue our conversation with Rich. We're going to talk about the COVID vaccines, and Rich, of course, is a doctor. You were an internist, Rich?
Family medicine.
Family medicine, okay. What's your take on the vaccines? I know that you were volunteering back there in the Boston area. You were administering the shots.
Right, I was doing it here in Gloucester. My feeling with the vaccine is that it's the most important thing people can, one of the most important things people can do to prevent the spread of this disease. I'm a big supporter of vaccines. I think they make a world of difference. They have really changed the health of the whole world.
As long as they don't put crap in it, I'm all for it. And they do. They put things in it that we know are not good. We won't go into that right now. I talked to somebody the other day who had gotten his second shot of the vaccine. He and his wife, and he was fine. His wife came down with flu-like symptoms for about 5 or 6 days. And I know this is common. I believe it's maybe as many as 50% of the people are having these kinds of reactions. Any thoughts on that?
Sure. It comes with the second shot because your body's immune system is working. That's an indication that your body is reacting to the vaccine and building immunity. So although it may be uncomfortable, you're not actually getting COVID. If it's a flu shot, you're not getting the flu from it because it's a dead virus. So that's just an indication your body's immune system is actually working. Most people don't have symptoms that last for 4 or 5 days. It may last a couple of days, and as your friend noted, some people have no symptoms from it. But it's much better than getting the disease.
And this is a new kind of a vaccine. It's not using the dead cells like they do, I believe, still with the flu vaccine. It's a RNA derivative.
Well, it's called an RNA vaccine. What it does is it gives the proteins to your body so the ribosomes can make the antibodies that it needs to fight off the infection. So you cannot get the disease from an RNA type of vaccine because the virus is not contained in the vaccine.
At the same time, some people are... I'm sorry, go ahead, Rich.
I was going to say another thing is that you have to remember that sometimes people get sick no matter what happens. So people say, I got the flu shot, and then I got the flu, which is impossible. What happened is you got the flu shot at the same time you may have been exposed to the flu from somebody else, and you got sick. So people draw a cause and effect relationship when it really doesn't exist.
I want to mention some of the theories about this. I had the shot, and the first thing I said after I got the shot was, "Hello, Bill Gates. Testing 1, 2, 3. Am I coming in loud and clear?" The fact that some people believe there's some kind of he didn't answer back, by the way, that there's some kind of nanotechnology in this, I think is just absolutely ridiculous.
Well, it's crazy. And people forget if they want to track you, almost everyone carries a tracking device with them. It's called a smartphone.
Yeah, exactly. Some of the other theories, the whack-out theories are chimpanzee DNA and even fetal DNA from human babies. I think this is all pish-posh, in my opinion. Well,
I agree with you. I think that it is. There's no proof to any of that. And why would people want to do it? Vaccines are such a powerful tool that everyone should welcome them.
What is the rollout on the vaccines has been slow, to say the least. I mean, everybody who wants it should be able to get it, yet companies are having trouble keeping up with the supply. I think we need you to take charge of this.
Just bring it on. But they're not easy to manufacture. They're not easy to ship because many of the vaccines need to be under special cold conditions. So it's not an easy process to do, but they're getting it down. They're doing more, making more and more of it. There have been shortages even of the vials to contain the vaccine. So it's a very complicated process, and it has been very much less than an ideal process. But they're getting better, doing more and more shots.
I believe Pfizer said that in their packing, they last week they wanted to add more vials to each box of vaccine to be sent out, and they had to ask for permission from the FDA to do that. Did you read that?
Right. I did. It's because it's just so highly regulated, and we don't want to have bad things in the vaccine.
I think it has to be stored at under 0 degrees someplace.
I believe so. The Moderna doesn't have to be as cold, but they're getting the process down. And I think anybody who wants a vaccine is going to be able to get it within the next couple of months.
And at the same time, the vaccine is not 100% approved. It's got an emergency approval at this point.
Right. It has an emergency approval, but it's very, very effective. And if you just look at preventing death, it's over 99% effective. It's the 95% that they talk about includes people getting mild to moderate illness, which is not going to kill you. So it's a very, very effective vaccine, and it's amazing how quickly it went from research to market.
Absolutely. That I agree with. It was a tremendous turnaround from both Pfizer and Moderna, and I guess Johnson & Johnson is coming up with theirs. I don't know if they've been approved yet or not, but I imagine they will be approved very shortly.
I think they got their emergency approval.
Okay.
It's important to remember we're still learning about the virus. We're still learning about the vaccine. And we'll discover things as we go along, some good, some maybe not so good. But overall, if you take it all into account, even with the unknowns, it's a very beneficial vaccine, and it's going to save lots and lots of lives. And it's going to be necessary for us to return to the sort of lifestyle we had before this virus came about.
And, of course, as we wrap up, once everybody or a good percentage of the population has had the vaccine, we'll go to herd immunity. Take off the masks.
We don't know with the vaccine whether you can still transmit the disease or not. We haven't really learned that yet, and that'll make a big difference as to how we treat people. So there's still a lot to learn, but you also need to remember the downsides of getting COVID and the long-term effects of COVID, the long-haul symptoms, and the things we don't know. We may discover more and more problems with COVID as time passes.
Rich, thank you very much for spending some time with us today. Go to NeedyMeds.org for more information on NeedyMeds. I'm Mark Alyn, along with the insane Darrell Wayne. Late Night Health continues. Recently, I met Jacqueline from Bright here in Los Angeles. She gave me a hearing exam and then showed me how to hear again with the new Signia Pure Series hearing aids, and she can give you your life back too. I hear birds chirping, birds cooing, and even my wife. They easily connect to my smartphone. The Signia hearing aids are amazing, and with the charge and go, I don't have to fiddle with batteries and hear all day long. Not hearing is frustrating for you and your family. I know you don't have a problem, but trust me, call Bright Here now for a free hearing exam, a $125 value, yours free, just for making an appointment now. There are offices throughout the Los Angeles area. Call Bright Here now at 323-424-7100. That's 323-424-7100 for a free hearing exam. There's no obligation. Call now, 323-424-7100, or visit them on the web at brighthere.com. Late Night Health is proud of our partnership with the EBC, the Evolutionary Business Council. Check them out at ebcouncil.com.
You're listening to Late Night Health with Mark Alyn. The show continues in a moment.
The latest from the greatest, the best in new music by classic rockers, with your host, the insane Darrell Wayne.
This is Alice Cooper, and if Darrell Wayne is insane, what does that make me? Criminally insane. Stick around to find out.
Many of the artist interviews for the latest from the greatest have been captured on audiobook. There is a Volume 1 and Volume 2. Great information and conversations with people in the industry and people surrounded by the industry, and of course the rock stars themselves.
I'm the Reverend Al Green, and you're listening to the insane Darrell Wayne. And I said Wayne Insane.
You can find it on Amazon or Blackstone Audio. Search for the latest from the greatest from Darrell Wayne, Darrell Wayne.
Hello, this is Weird Al Yankovic, and you're listening to the insane Darrell Wayne, aren't you?
There's a lot of talk all over the internet about the remarkable benefits of Carbon-60, and baby boomers are especially excited about it. Greska's Carbon-60 is the premium Carbon-60, developed by an aerospace and NASA scientist. 95% of Greska's customers report positive results from this Nobel Prize-winning technology in just 4 days. Imagine more energy, better health, and more vitality. It's very bioavailable to quickly mend toxin-crippled cells. This is a super powerful antioxidant. Bob Greska is so confident that you'll love his Carbon-60, he wants to send you a bottle at 50% off the regular price to see how life-changing this will be for you. Call 720-600-6040. That's 720-600-6040. Visit c-60.com to learn more. Call 720-600-6040 now or visit c-60.com.
Welcome to Guide to the Soul. This is Robert Clancy. Your soul is a celestial rain dance upon every starlit night. Allow the rays of today's sunrise to cascade upon your wings, so the peace beckoning your soul can take flight. Sorrow-filled moments in life may have made you feel immortal. Just know that divine love is what makes you whole. Your soul was created from the boundless ocean of love. Life is simply about making waves that touch the shores of someone's heart. It's time to release fears. It's time to let this go. It's time to swim in that great ocean.
For more inspiration from Robert Clancy, visit guidetothesoul.com or go to the Moments with Robert page on latenightshealth.com. Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Alyn, along with the insane Darrell Wayne, and Darrell is going to open up his mic, and we're going to chit-chat during this last segment of the show. Robert Clancy has the day off. What's going on in your young life, Darrell?
Well, all of our lives are revolving around COVID still at this point. I don't think if we think about March last year, whether we would think that a year later we'd still be talking about the same thing. But it's like number one. It is ruling everybody's life.
You know, I get asked to interview people on late night health. I probably am getting maybe 25 what we call in the business pitches, right? A day. And out of that, I would say 80% are all about COVID.
Yeah, and one of the problems, obviously, is things are changing constantly, but the misinformation that's out there, and people just sort of saying stuff that they think that they heard from somebody and accepting it as fact. I actually had one of the people I record their radio program for said that he wasn't going to take the shot because thousands of people had died from a result of taking the shot. I said, I've not heard that. I don't know where that information is coming from. I don't know what you think that you're... I simply said I don't think he knew what he was talking about. And again, I couldn't find any proof or evidence of that information anywhere. And if that were true, it would be headline news. Did he offer any
attribution?
Not necessarily, but it would have been headline news. He said, it's being suppressed in the news, and it almost fell into like a conspiracy theory thing, so I stopped.
Yeah, when we were talking with Rich Sagall from NeedyMeds just a few moments ago, we talked about some of those conspiracy theories, and they're scarier than COVID to me.
Yeah, I have another friend that truly believes that all the businesses should be open because if they're not open, they're going to go out of business. And I said, well, are they willing to put a list on the wall of all the people that they killed?
I know who that is. I know who both of your friends are, don't
yes.
I?
Yeah, you do. But I mean,
do.
When it comes down to it, he thinks that he's traveling every weekend. He's flying every weekend almost as part of his business. And he believes that all the local restaurants should be full open because if not, they're going to go out of business. And maybe some of those things are true, but, what is the risk, right? Is it if one person dies as a result, was it too risky to open up? Or does it got to be 10 or 15 or a super spreader event? I mean, come on. We just had, the Super Bowl, right? And in Florida, they were celebrating, and it's a bunch of idiots with their shirts off, rubbing around doing belly bumps and not wearing a mask. Thousands of them.
I know. It's it's mind-boggling.
It's a sports team. It's not worth going to the mat for that.
As you know, I love theater and live theater. I love going to the movies. I mean, I can watch movies at home, but it's not the same. It's not. But you know what? I'll suffer and be safe.
Yeah.
And have you heard that? I've heard that there are up to seven different, if you can, I can't even count that high, variations of COVID-19 now.
That's probably true. I just talked to a friend of mine, a radio friend of mine, who lives up in, I guess it would be almost Central California.
Right.
And he got his second shot, and he said he got it during the day, and he woke up at midnight, and he was hot, and he was sweating, and he was shaking, and he was vomiting, and he had diarrhea, and he just was a mess. And he said it lasted about 12 hours, and then it stopped, and everything was fine going forward. So like Rich said, if you don't react to it, maybe you haven't built up the immunity from the first one and getting the second one. But at least he was. And he's pretty close to your age. And he's been through the ringer. He's had cancer several times of a bunch of different things. He's had back surgeries, he's had neck surgeries, he's had stomach surgeries, he's had elbow surgeries, and he survived, obviously. So
yeah, I am a big baby when I get sick. I don't want to be taken care of. I want to be left alone. I just want to stay in bed, curl into a fetal position, cover myself up, and try to sleep and get through it. I am hopeful that I won't have a reaction of diarrhea and vomiting, nausea, all of that. I'm hopeful, but I will take the vaccine. And
well, you're fortunate in the fact that you were able to get it, right? I mean, at this point, based on my age and where I live, I cannot get it.
Right. You young person, you.
Yeah, this is.
It's Darrell and I live in Ventura County, and I think it's only been this week that they've opened it up to 65 and over. Up until
Ventura has not done that yet. It's 75 in Ventura County.
It was 75. They just lowered it here in Ventura.
Oh, missed that. Well, I'm still outside
yes,
the
you
equation until the end of June this year. I'll be 65.
Oh my! Oh, you're older than I thought. I thought you were 62.
I'll take that.
Yeah, I know.
Let me take that and run with it. Yeah, no, 65 this year.
You and I both work predominantly from home. While we do go out, have in the past gone out and recorded video or audio programming.
Most of it's from the house.
I'm sorry?
Most of it is from the house.
Yes, and for me as well. And I, especially now, do you think we'll ever go back to the old normal, or are we going to be living in the new normal?
It depends. I think a lot of businesses have discovered that they don't necessarily have to be there or be hands-on in a brick-and-mortar location to get the job done. So I imagine from a business perspective, things are going to change. The restaurants have proven that they can't survive on just doing takeout, that they have to have the service inside the restaurant to survive, right? So it depends on what industry you're talking about. I mean, certainly in the business that we're in, things like WebEx and Zoom and all of these have certainly gained more enthusiasm than they had prior. And, doing interviews remotely or having people check in remotely has become more the normal. I mean, at this point, I've seen several major newscasts and talk shows where they use this technology, and it'll be bouncing along and have problems and interrupts and things like that, and they just sort of go with it because it's part of the lay of the land. If it weren't for COVID, the technical people and the people that put on television radio shows would never accept that audio quality, but because of this,
or the video quality,
and because of this, obviously people are willing to accept less than stellar quality in order to get the entertainment or the information. So,
exactly. I think that we will see what happens with all of this technology. They can put a person on the moon, but they can't get an internet connection to be stable forever.
Hey, you're breaking up, Mark.
Okay. Speaking of which, and we are using Zoom to communicate. Darrell, thank you very much. Thank you very much for tuning in. Join us at latenighthealth.com. We will be back next week. I'm Mark Alyn for Darrell Wayne. And have a good week. Have a safe week. And most importantly, have a healthy week. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.